Word on the streets is them boys from BDM is back. What's going on, everybody? What's up, guys? Long time no see.
What's happening? What's happening?
We
Glad
need
to
a
be
little bit
back.
more energy. The boys
What
been
up?
gone
What
for a
up?
minute.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming, man. We
Got
pump
y'all
faked a couple
existed.
times saying that we was coming back out, and then we didn't, but we actually out right now. We outside.
Yeah.
Glad
It's
to see
good
you.
to see you, fellas. Ohio State football might be back coming up soon. Good to see that. It's been a good off season. What y'all been up to, bro? Let me know. What the boys been doing?
Playing NCAA, I went from being a Hall of Fame Twitter coach to a Hall of Fame Xbox coach. You know your boys out here running a dynasty. So
Turn
if you're
up.
not in our dynasty, make sure you tap in the Discord. What about y'all? What y'all been up to?
Nothing, man. Just working, gaming, same old, bro. Just waiting on football for real. Because you know the summer is just trash with the sports content and with the sports media, and there's nothing going on. But we got the Olympics this year, so that's a good thing. So
Always a plus.
Yeah.
And I ain't been doing nothing, man. Kids keeping me busy. They're in softball, baseball, everything, gymnastics. My daughter done made all these competition teams. So I done in gymnastics and dance. So I done got super busy now. So.
Gee, all right, a little bit busy. Well, I watched a few movies. I'm out here trying to survive the 120 fucking degree weather. All that. The Euros was around, but Ohio State football is back. So, first of all, welcome back, everybody. Good to see y'all. Shout out to Robert, first one in the chat. We ain't forget. A lot of stuff going on this off season. A lot of stuff's going on since we've been MIA. So before we really hop into a raw rundown, Ron? I'll start with you. What's the biggest thing from the off season since you've been gone?
I'd have to say probably the Chip Kelly hire. I mean, Ryan Day finally relinquishing the play calling duties. I think that's huge for the Buckeyes, and I think that'll probably be the biggest impact that we'll see on the team from this offseason. I mean, you can make an argument for, I'm sure, what someone else will say, another position battle we'll get into later. But I think Chip Kelly taking over the play calling and coming to Ohio State is definitely the biggest change this offseason.
Cam.
let me
Been a lot.
think.
A lot to choose from.
I mean, I think I want to say the emergence of the so-called jack position is going to be used. So that right there is my main thing in the offseason I was excited about from what I heard is that apparently we're going to be using the jack position for real this time, which means we're going to see that tenacious defense that was leading the nation in sacks with a bunch of 2-stars at Oklahoma State with Ohio State caliber players by emphasizing the jack position and being able to do those exotic fronts that we hired Jim Knowles to do. So I'm excited to see that.
Mike.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this defense, man. The hype around the defense, not just the players that's coming back and that's going to be on the field, but also what's going on in recruiting on the defense. I know Q's excited that we actually have athletic linebackers now, so that's going to look a whole lot better. That's going to look a whole lot better, man. Put some smile on my guy Q face, man.
Yeah, and I'd say the new AD, man. We'll talk about it a little later, but bringing that new bread in, boys ain't broke no more. That's what they saying. Well, as I've been to it, so we're gonna talk about the off season a bit today. We'll talk a little bit of recruiting. We'll talk some camp battles. We'll do some predictions. We'll hit on probably some stuff we missed. So y'all got questions or whatever, shoot those in chat. Let us know what you've been off to on the summer. But football season is back, so let's get into it. So let's start with the off season, right? So apparently, we stopped doing shows, and Ohio State just was like, "Yo, we gonna get everybody. We grabbing everybody. We got money now, apparently." So we got new quarterbacks in, so let's start there. Will Howard walks in the door. Julian Sand walks in the door. What do you think about the new quarterback in this really loaded quarterback room? We'll start with Mike down there. Mike, you get first dibs.
Man, I would say, like this season, the quarterbacks they got to show me. But the future of the quarterback room is very bright here. So I'm excited. I'm excited about Air. I'm excited about St. But Howard, he got to show me. If I'm gonna put that Buckeye stamp on you, you got to show me, my guy. So that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Ron on the phone the other day about Bill. By the way, I call Will Howard Bill Howard. So if you're gonna be watching the Best Damn Media channel and watch Buckeye BS, I don't know what they're gonna do on roast, but his name is Bill Howard to me.
Bill the Throw.
Billy.
I was just telling Ron at first, like I was watching Bill and I was like, man, the best thing I like about what he does is that he will stand in the pocket and he'll take a hit, and he is not afraid to extend the play. Because I think last year I went through all the film. I honestly believe I counted maybe 4 or 5 instances the entire season where we had a scramble drill or a throw outside the pocket, and we won 11 games, which is astonishing to me, which is a shout out to Ryan Day and Marv and the wide receiver core and the offense around Kyle that was executing at such a high level that he had to do absolutely nothing athletic to win 11 games. But that's what I'm excited for, because we get that out of either Devin Brown or out of Bill. So I think that we're going to see our offense in the first 3 weeks look amazing, just simply off of our wide receivers going to not have to just win number one and the plays that, we're going to have a quarterback that can create. We're going to have an OC that can mix things up with Bill with his feet and stuff like that. So we're happy. And then the young guys, of course, but it's not their time yet.
No, I think the Buckeyes went out and did what they had to do. They went and found a quarterback in the portal to create more competition. I mean, Ryan Day wasn't happy with the quarterback play last year. He opened it up. I mean, Kyle left because of that, and Ryan Day was transparent and letting him know, like, hey, we're looking in the portal. We're opening this back up. Devin's going to get a shot. And then you see Julian St. Enter the fray. So we have a loaded quarterback group now, and, I mean, I don't think they can get this wrong. I was listening to a pod the other day, and they were talking about the quarterback play in the college football playoffs, and they're saying, well, yeah, there have been great quarterbacks in the college football playoffs, but every championship team has had a great defense outside of the 2019 LSU team, and that team still had a top 30 defense. The Buckeyes are about to have one of their best defenses potentially ever, maybe. I mean, who knows? The sky's the limit with this defense. So I think this quarterback room is plenty talented enough to get it done. Wow, Cam just dipped out. I saw Q throw up the P and then he just disappeared. I was like, what kind of crazy telecommunication they got going on here? I didn't even.
That was for you. That was the P. I was crossing my fingers, but I can't cross my fingers no more.
I thought you bowed his head. I thought that was some new sketch button that you got going on.
Yeah, we worked on that all off season.
But yeah, man, I think this quarterback room's loaded, and I think there's more than one capable national championship quarterback, and I'm excited to see, hopefully Bill the Thrill leads us to the promised land this year.
My bad. I was trying to hold in, blowing my nose the whole time.
honestly, you dropping out spontaneously that lined up directly with Q's gesture.
I worked on it. I got it, bro.
I'm trying to be professional and not do it, but I was like, I can't, bro.
I appreciate the effort there.
But I'm back. I'm good.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, to piggyback off you saying, I mean, Howard steps in the door. I feel like that gives us good competition. I feel like the room is where it should be. You got 2 guys at the top, both more senior guys. They're in his 3rd year. They're battling it out, and you got a bunch of young guys in Lincoln. Not a lot of people talk about Air, but Air's here too. He didn't run out and leave when Saying came. He's here battling it and working on it. So I think the room is where it should be. I'm excited because we got competition for the guy who's up now, and then we got competition for the guy who's up next. So it looks good, and I'm excited for it. Also, Chip Kelly comes in, our new quarterback coach. Chip Kelly walks in the door. Ron previewed it earlier, but I think somebody here, met and talked to Chip Kelly. Somebody who might be on this panel might have had a little conversation with him. I got to hang out with him for a bit. Ron, that might have been you. If that was you, please let me know. What was it like to meet Chip Kelly?
You reminded me because I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, who we got here? I was like, you talking about
Special
me?
guest.
Stop the cap.
No, yeah, I did get to talk to Chip Kelly this off season. Super cool. The biggest takeaway from meeting him and seeing him inside the Woody that day was the smile on his face all day. And like you could see Ryan Day in like CEO mode, like so much going on, so many people on visits, student appreciation practice, so many moving parts during the day. And Chip, you could tell like he doesn't have that burden of being a head coach anymore. He is doing what he loves. Like Ryan Day is in recruiting meetings all after practice. Chip's already watched practice twice before Ryan Day has had a chance to see the film. He's really getting a chance to dive into the weeds and just be a part of the X's and O's. And he talked about that in his opening press conference when he came here about how excited he was or how happy he was just working with the quarterbacks when he was at UCLA, when he had that opportunity to just be a position coach. And now he just gets to focus on being a coordinator. I think Chip's going to be able to do a lot of good things with this run game. And I feel like he's going to come out here and improve this offense and take a lot off of Ryan Day's shoulder. And I think being in the Woody that day, you could see the lift that it is for Ryan Day to have someone that he trusts like Chip. I mean, he said in his one of his recent press conferences, he trusts Chip with his life. So if anybody has any concerns out there about Ryan, second guessing Chip on the headset, I don't think we have to worry about that because I think he hired Chip for a reason. And I feel like having that trust in someone that he can believe in and pass his offense off to is going to be a huge lift for Ryan this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Mike, Cam, I'm gonna give y'all a different one. Give me Chip Kelly coming in, but also give me what that does for Ryan Day as the CEO of this team. So Cam, I'll start with you. Touch on Chip coming in, but Ryan Day now stepping back. He's CEO. He's being able to look at it from a what was it, eagle eyes view. That's not the hawk eyes view. There we go. What are those views? Sky Cam.
What?
He on the sky cam.
Let me is rusty. It is definitely the off season.
I think the biggest impact, I would say, with Chip Kelly coming for Ryan Day, I think that's going to allow him on game days to be a better decision maker in critical situations. Because I think like the game against the team up north last year, or like the games against Georgia, I feel like he's so engulfed in being a play caller and so engulfed in like getting the quarterback right and making sure that the rhythm and the flow of the offense is together, that he's kind of not in sync with the whole game as a whole, watching it, even on the defensive end, seeing the flow and understanding the momentum and like understanding when he needs to kind of like go for things. And so I feel like this year will have the opportunity to be a head coach and to watch things as they're happening in real time and have a real analysis on like how to manage the game. Because so far with him being a play caller, I think that you can kind of see the growing pains with him, even in year 5, of being a in-game decision maker, especially in the crunch time in those critical situations, whether we go for it on 4th down or whether we kick a field goal, that we see come back to bite us in the end in a lot of big games, even going back to Clemson. So now he doesn't have that burden, doesn't have that excuse. He's not on the sideline coaching up Trey and all those guys or Bill Howard about what play scheme to run or what route or what trees or anything like that. That's going to be delegated to Brian Hartline and Chip Kelly. So now he can go to the defense and say, hey, Jim, I like this. Let's do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm seeing the offense do that, and then can help the whole entire team, especially the special teams. So that's the biggest impact I think Chip Kelly is going to bring to Ohio State for Ryan Day, is just alleviating the pressure of him having to focus on one side of the ball and being able to focus on the entire team and be in the flow of the game.
Mike.
Yeah, I think the biggest impact about Chip coming in is having an OC. I think the one thing that was missing was like we were missing that Kevin Wilson, that guy who can talk to you and tell you about the details of why. We used to hear about CJ Stroud. He was always asking, why do you have me doing this? Why? That's what helped him be a better quarterback, a better player. And I think that that's one thing that we're going to be able to get from Chip, because what we had Brian Hartline and then Urban Meyer's son-in-law, Corey Dennis. You had those two guys. Can they really give you details of the entire offense? No. But now you got Chip Kelly able to do that in his role, in a role that he has expressed that he wants to get back to. Then you have, like Cam said, you have a relaxed Ryan Day as well. Ryan Day, looking like he's back to his old self. And I think that this will help stop Ryan Day from clamming up in those games and not being aggressive. Now you have someone who can, say, hey, Ryan Day, like, calm down. Like, let's still be aggressive in these moments and things like that. Like, let's not think too much of that. And someone who he actually trusts. I think that's the biggest part that a lot of people, I think, are missing, is the trust factor. And I think that we are learning more and more how much Ryan Day has trust issues. So,
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that. I think this does wonders for Ryan Day, having another head coach that he trusts walking through the door. I mean, obviously, we all talk about it. We talked about it for years. He's a new coach on the block. For the most part, this is still his first job. I mean, I know he's a few years in now, so we're not just brushing him off with the, he's a new
Hardly
coach.
call him a spring chicken.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call him that anymore. He's in the job now, but still bringing that experience in, and a guy who's there right by his side, where he's making big time decisions, which we've all questioned, all the whole time, is like it's very helpful. And I do want to ask Ron another question here. You were at practice. What is the vibe of Ryan Day that you got?
I feel like he's in CEO mode. Like, we talked about it a little bit in the off season and leading up to this year. Like, does Ryan Day have a lot on his plate? We knew he had to get involved in a lot in the defensive recruiting. In the years past, he had to help a lot with the defense before Jim Knowles was able to right the ship. I feel like it was visible that Ryan Day has a more 360 view of the program, and he's able to be a part of everything. At some points, you see him with the linebackers. At points, he's with the quarterbacks. He's breaking the team down. All of these different things. You could see him as a leader of the team, but at the same time, you could also see he had trust in his staff to manage by themselves. And I feel like that lift off Ryan's plate and him be able to take a more administrative role, as far as, like, again, having a bigger role in the recruiting and really reaching out to these families and things like that, and being out on the trail. I feel like it allows Ryan Day to do a lot more things without being spread thin like he felt in years past.
No, that 100%. Hopefully that brings the Natty this season, man. The streets need it. I need to be able to go talk shit on Twitter again, so I need the boys to get it together. But we also had one more big addition that we're going to call walking in on the offense, and that is Quinshon Judkins. The bad teammate, they say. He's punching linemen in the face, saying block better, all that. But Mike, he said we need that on this team. He said we need a guy
Always too much sauce.
hey, yeah.
A guy who might punch a tag.
Sound like an Eastside Cleveland dude.
Would it be an
Cleveland
episode of Buckeye BS if Q didn't put a hypothetical crime on a player?
So, Mike, I'll start with you. Judkins walks through the door. What does that mean for this offense? And also, what does that mean for this other guy, Tavien Henderson, we have?
Man, I think that this allows Tavien to not have to do too much. You see Dylan Hayden walking out the door. You see Chip Trainum has walked out the door. And all you had was, Tavien. Well, I know Dylan left, a little bit later or whatever. But, with Tavien not being able to go through a full season, being healthy, and we've seen Judkins, he got hurt at Ole Miss, but guess what? He was still able to fight through that, finish the season, and was always their bell cow. So shout out Judkins. I'm very excited for what he has done in the SEC, now coming into the Big Ten. And one thing that we need is that running back with the vision, which I believe that he has. That's the biggest knock on Trey, which I admitted he got better later in the season with his vision. But I know from Jump Street, we got that with Judkins.
Yeah, most definitely another change of pace back. Ron, Quinshon Judkins walks through the door, man. What's your thoughts? Or you were even see where is Quinshon in person? How he practiced? How do you look?
He was at practice. It's crazy to see him in a Buckeye uniform. I mean, with the transfer portal, like the way that things can change with your team overnight, and what Tony Alford was able to do, landing Quinshon before he went to the team up north, a nice little parting gift. I appreciate it. So shout out to him for that. But no, it's awesome. It feels like we have the two best backs in the country. The Big Ten is loaded with running backs. I mean, you might be able to argue 4 or 5 of the best backs in the country are in the Big Ten. So for the Buckeyes to be able to stay ahead of the pack in a loaded conference of running backs is awesome. And then the Buckeyes were rewarded with one of the most unstoppable players we've ever seen in video game history, with Quinshon Judkins in the spin move in the new NCAA game. So that's another huge get. More eyes on the Buckeyes. That's all I see people saying about Ohio State in the game is how OP Quinshon is, and it's crazy. They don't even put him out there to start, so it'll be interesting to see the split of carries and if he's able to recreate maybe a Braxton Miller type spin move and live up to his NCAA character.
Bro, I gotta ask. I haven't played the game yet. Is the spin move really that crazy? Because
it's broken. It's broken real bad.
Like,
it's broken real bad, bro.
Miller spin move, bro. Like, on Infinite.
I see a dude run a 22 dive, hit 2 spins, and be out, and I'm like, all right.
Honestly, though, the entire Ohio State football team is broken on that game. Honestly.
No, Cam, talk about it. Talk about it for a little bit, because you seem to have the most frustration with these teams. If you guys have been around in the Discord when we're playing, Cam has a phrase: if Caleb Downs looks at you, you drop the ball or fumble. So talk a little bit about how OP this Ohio State team is in this game.
The only thing that's really OP about Ohio State is the defense. So, like, I did a little research on like how they made the AI for the game. And so the awareness and the play recognition for Ohio State players are just like through the roof compared to any other defense. So the computer is just like, they just turn in a freaking Homelander whenever you do anything on the game. So, like, if I got somebody open and it's like, oh, okay, like you're in cover 4, like Lathan Ransom will just randomly match on a drag route, and that's not even his job because that game is just hey, it's my team, but like the Ohio State defense on there is just absolutely ridiculous, bro.
Oh,
like completely broken.
What's up, buddy? Quinshon Judkins. So give me your thoughts on him entering the room real quick.
And, you know how I feel. Oh, I've been waiting on this. You know how I feel about that. Cool. Mike, what I tell you last year when not last year, but this winter when we got Quinshon Judkins, what I said? I said when we play that team up north and when we play Georgia's and the Alabamas, Quinshon Judkins is going to be our guy because he has the innate ability to have patience when running the ball, set up his blocks, and fall forward for those tough yardage that we need. I love Trey. I think Trey is amazing. But the type of runner that we need against those elite defenses and the scheme that we've been running, he has not provided that, especially against Michigan. That's why we have Chip train him for the last 2 years, average almost over 6 yards a carry against him because of his style of run. And they scheme to how Tavien Henderson likes to run. So I just think that the lightning and thunder combination between him and Trey is going to be great. I feel like Chip Kelly is going to have a lot of experience of scheming running backs of the style of Tavien Henderson, trying to kind of get him out in space, run some 22 personnel or something like that, 20 personnel, something to get Trey out in space and not have him take those hits in the center of the offense, because obviously we know too that he's had injury issues. So the addition of Quinshon Judkins to me is number 2 on the list for me as biggest impact players coming onto the team this year. He's not my number 1.
Well, while we're at it, who's your number 1?
Who's your number 1?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. You want to know who's my number one?
Come on, man. Y'all knew
Nick McLarty, the punter
What?
from Australia, is
Oh my
going to
God,
be
Cam.
Wait,
who's
time
in
out.
the ball.
Pause. No, wait.
We're gonna
I
talk
just
some
want to let
ball.
the audience
Let's
know
talk
how
some
many
ball.
times I've gotten phone calls about this punter.
Bro.
This has been the longest off season, and I promise you, I could not count on one hand. I could count. I would probably need my hands and toes the amount of times that I've gotten calls from Cam in the afternoon, like, bro, I'm on my lunch break, and I'm just thinking about this team next year. And, bro, if we got this punter, this defense in the field position, it's going to be a problem. Tell the Buckeye Nation about this punter and why this is such a huge get for the Buckeyes.
Bro. I think last year against the team on North, we netted like under 40 yards a punt. So our special teams last year was just completely atrocious. We did not net the yard. We did not flip the field every time we had to punt. We did not do any of that from the elite, special team standpoint. So what I'm saying is, with the defense that we're going to have arguably the number one defense in the nation, right? Mixed with a guy that can boot a ball accurately 70 yards, 60 yards off his leg. Every single offense that we play this year is going to have to drive the ball from at least inside the 20-yard line of their field. With that defense, that is a complete game changer that we did not even have last year and still was successful on defense. Now you add that to like, okay, now you're going to have to drive on our defense an extra 20 yards, extra 30 yards, a possession. Come on, man. That's going to change the game for our team, in my opinion, based off coming off of the Parker Fleming disaster that we've been dealing with on special teams, is being able to pin every single offense that we play on their side of the field with our defense.
You think it's a coincidence that, like, addition by subtraction, we get rid of him, automatic level up to the special teams?
Man, I don't know.
College football works, man.
I don't know why a kid from Australia wants to come to Ohio State, but I'm just going to say it's a Terminator, bro. It's probably the Thurman burger. Probably had a Thurman burger from Australia and was like, all right, I'm coming here, mate. And that's it. That's all she wrote.
Just because we speaking about special teams and stuff, and Sue had asked in the chat, like, how will special teams look this year? Obviously, they couldn't look worse than last year, but do you think our special teams will be an actual asset this year? And Sue, you heard Cam say it, man. That was an honestly good breakdown. Glad Cam came through with that special teams breakdown. But yeah, I think what's also going to be better is the fight out of the guys that's on special teams. The position coaches now get to use this as one of their reasons of, hey, you want to get on the field, or this gets to push. You want to look good in front of your position coach. You want to give them a reason to put you on the field. Hey, I did something on special teams. Just remember when we had Ezekiel Elliott as a freshman going down there laying the lumber on kickoff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you have this, I think you'll see guys like B.I. Like, I think these guys are hungry. These guys want to hit. These guys want to make plays on special teams. The times we had Terry McLaurin's and stuff back there, down it on the 1 yard line. We had the Chris Olaves blocking the punts and stuff like that. Like, I think that we're going to be able to get back to that.
One quick note on special teams: at the open practice in the spring, Brandon Ennis was limited, but still was first up in punt return reps. So take that. Brandon Ennis still, even though he was limited in practice, was the first one out there on punt return. So nice. I don't know if that's a sign of things to come, but just wanted to throw that out there.
B.I.
Yeah, I think it's still Jaden Ballard's job to lose.
Stop it.
Chill out, bro.
Chill out.
Let me see your
shout out JB.
Hold on, let me see your
shout out Jaden Ballard and shout out Massillon, Ohio, man. Shout out Massillon, man.
It's light skin takeover season, bro. I'm buying stock. All the light skin receivers. We really back outside this season. So,
are you buying Julian Fleming stock too?
He not here. I can't buy his stock. It went off the market.
Once a
but-
Buckeye, always a Buckeye. You saw
Yeah,
what Quinn Ewers said about the team up north.
Dang, bro. He went to the China markets. He's not on NASDAQ no more, bro. Can't get him in the S&P.
He got delisted, bro.
Yeah, bro. You know how it is. You got to buy overseas. All right, so we got now like 150 people in here. I don't know. It's a lot of y'all in here. While y'all in here, go ahead, like the video. We're going to mark questions. So go ahead, ask questions in there. Do all that. Tell a friend. Tell your friend to tell a friend. The boys is back outside.
Little housekeeping before we move
ahead.
on. If you want to have questions that show up on the screen, we're beefing with YouTube right now. We will have super chats back here in a couple weeks. But if you want to send questions in the meantime, find us on audio search Buckeye BS wherever you get your podcast. Leave a 5-star review and leave your question and your name, and we'll give you a shout out on the next episode and answer your question. So make sure you check us out on all audio platforms, and make sure that you send us a 5-star review. So make sure you tap in and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, because me and Q start back up every weekday at 8 a.m. with the Buckeye Roast starting tomorrow. So glad to be back outside. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and appreciate everyone tuning in. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty getting started here today on Twitter. We were in here talking to ourselves for about 15 minutes before we were really able to get that link out there, but we appreciate everyone tuning in on all platforms.
And if you guys want a more national-centric show, me and Mike, during the season, probably not during the off-season, but prior to week 1, me and Mike will be coming back out with the Fans Edge, where we touch bases on all of mostly P4, well, P2 now, football matchups.
P2, wait, P2? That's mad disrespectful, bro.
It is not
That's
disrespectful.
crazy
It is not
disrespectful, bro.
disrespectful. Hell no, that's on brand. That is on brand.
You know what I'm saying? Big matchups going around college football. We have our analysis. We'll have guests on, things like that. Just talking about the games coming up. So be on the lookout for that. Me and Mike will be back on the Fans Edge on Wednesdays.
Little housekeeping for you. Okay, fellas. Gotta talk defense. Basically, everyone rolls back in. Jim Knowles does not go to Duke. He runs it back with the squad. Caleb Downs walks in. So not too many new additions here, but I'll start with you, Mike. What's this new defense about to be like?
Man, I think that this defense is going to be fast, athletic, and I'm going to have to say it again. Jim Knowles, I need you to bring that 2022 defense. It was not your scheme, bruh. It was the Jimmies and Joes. Bring that defense back with these guys. I mean, again, I got to talk about it. The linebackers, you got Cody Simon back there. James Laurinaitis already said it was his fault. He should have played Cody more, even more than what he was when he took over someone's spot. He should have played Cody more. I mean, just the simple fact that you're going to have Cody out there. You're going to have Sonny Styles or CJ Hicks or Dave Powers. They're more athletic. These guys are going to be able to move faster. And again, when you have mistakes, what helps with that? Team speed. I think that's just another area I done seen online, this crazy thing like Ohio State lacks team speed. I do not see that on the defensive side of the football. I don't know where these narratives are coming from and things like that, but I think that these guys are going to definitely be moving. And one thing that teams picked on was our linebackers, especially in the passing game. we watched the team up north tight end literally like Moss, Tommy Eichenberg, and Steel Chambers multiple times. I don't think that you're going to have that. I think you're going to see probably some interceptions and some PBUs coming from our linebacker position this year. I'm really excited.
Cam.
Ron, you go. Let's switch it up. You go.
I was sending the link out. I didn't even see.
All right, I'll go. My biggest thing for the defense this year, I'm interested. All right, so you know how we're going to have a longer season, right? With the extended playoffs and things like that. I'm interested in seeing how we deal with personnel and rotating in the depth, because they say they're going to have the jack position or we're going to have the linebacker position. So now you're going to have Cody Simon, because we know we got to keep the tradition is all the way not gone, right? Like seniority rules, right? So it's not like they're going to play CJ Hicks and Sonny Styles. They're going to get Cody Simon in there, who's still a good player. Is a great player. He's going to be at that mic. And then you're going to have Sonny Styles and CJ Hicks rotating at that will. But now we're going to have that jack position. But now you got to think. We got Arvell Reese. We got Gabe Powers. We got dudes that are capable of playing these positions that are going to want snaps. So I'm interested in seeing how we maneuver that. And on another note, we got Jordan Hancock, we got Denzel Burke, and we got Iggy. But now you got a guy like Jermaine Matthews who knows that he's a guy that we've had to, make it make sense for him to basically not be starting when we know that he's a starting caliber cornerback, even on this type of defense. We have guys like Calvin Simpson-Hunt, who flashed all spring, that's going to want to get snaps. We got Malik Hartford, who played as a freshman, who's going to want to get snaps. So I'm just interested in seeing how Jim Knowles and Laurinaitis and Walton and the gang goes about keeping everyone happy and keeping everyone involved, and for attrition issues of injuries. Like what are we going to do for that to prevent the injuries? Because like we saw with the Team Up North game last year, we saw Tyleek huffing and puffing on that last drive when they got the field goal. It's like, are we going to see the Jason Moores running there? Are we going to see the Caden McDonald's? Are we going to see a legitimate rotation up front? Because we've been screaming till we're blue in the face this year. Oh, we got the depth. We got the depth. We got this. We got that. So now is the year where we see Jimmy Knowles be a mastermind and mold it all together and get that rotation to where every single snap we look like we're just on springs. There should not be a situation to where we're late in the fourth quarter and my defensive line is huffing and puffing and the linebacker core is slagging. Like, we have too much talent. So that's what I'm looking forward to, especially early in the season before we play Oregon. How do we rotate, get kids snaps, and get people in rotation for them to develop so when we need them in the playoff? Because we're going to need everyone in the new extended playoff to be ready to play.
Yeah,
back to you again.
I'm most interested to see how we use Sonny Styles. I think there's so many options with ways that they could use him. He's played all over this defense, and I think with Jim Knowles allegedly using the jack position this year, having Sonny played in the slot, strong safety, he's playing linebacker now. So the multiple looks and the disguises that he's going to be able to do, especially with the way he's moved Lathan around in the past. They talk about Caleb Downs' intelligence on that defense, his ability to move around. I think the depth and comfortability in this system is going to allow Jim Knowles to really scheme things up. And Mike talked about wanting to see the 22 defense. I'm really interested to see him, Knowles, get in his bag and really show people the mad scientist that they used to say that he was. And I felt like the Buckeyes went out there and were a little bit more vanilla last year, and was just go out there and out talent everyone, and we're gonna, play sound defense and not get too exotic. And I think he has the option to take a little bit more risk this year. And I think with the skill, the experience, the depth on this team, that Jim Knowles is gonna have the season is his canvas this year. He's gonna be able to do whatever he wants with this defense.
Yeah. So basically, I used to have this line on the show: too fast to play here. And it looks like I might have to retire that line sometime soon, because the defense is looking crazy athletic this season. I got dudes who didn't play right guard on offense in high school on defense this time, dudes that touched the ball, dudes that had team speed. I look at NCAA, the ratings is looking good. Bro, I am ready for boys to be outside. Last season, we saw Sonny Styles added. He played kind of near the linebackers. He made them look pedestrian. He was going sideline to sideline and lapping dudes. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And Jim Knowles, I need the creativity this season. Like Cam said, last season, defensive line was looking tired, not a lot of rotation. Jim Knowles promised me, he said, yeah, we're going to play offense on defense. We'll play a lot of defense on defense. Like, it ain't been bad, but I need chaos in the backfield. The secondary is crazy. That's what I'm looking forward to this season. Like, people say they'll tell their kids about 2019. Mine was 2017. That's the defense I'll tell my kids about. That secondary was crazy. That defensive line was crazy, and the linebackers fit right into the mold. So that's what I'm looking for.
That's the defense you'll tell your grandkids about. I'll be like, back in my day, Ryan Day once chose to receive a kickoff because he wanted more possessions with Steel Chambers on the field. That's the defense I'm gonna tell them about. Back in my day, you don't know struggle.
No struggle. It's crazy. Oh man. But yeah, so that's what I look for the defense. So talked about the defense. I need everybody, and this is for the chat as well. I need you to grade this Ohio State offseason. So we're gonna go 1 to 5. So Ron, we'll start with you. Give me your rate on Ohio State offseason 1 to 5. Let me hear it.
Interesting skill choice there. I figured we'd give it a report card.
We need a couple more numbers.
Yeah, bro.
We need like 10. We need 1 to 10,
How
bro.
about a 1 to 7.7 scale? I think I'm gonna go with a 7.7. I think the Buckeyes knocked this offseason out of the park. I mean, getting Bill O'Brien and parlaying that into Julian St and then having him leave and then being able to still land someone like Chip Kelly. And regardless of how you feel about Chip Kelly as a play caller, offensive coordinator, having someone in the building that Ryan Day trusts, you just can't put a value on that. I feel like it's priceless to have Chip in the building. So I think that addition and then getting through the spring healthy, I mean, I couldn't ask for a more perfect offseason. What about you guys?
Yeah, Cam, go ahead. Give me your 1 to 5.
7.7 is the scale. Okay?
I'm gonna go 4.8.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 4.8.
Why?
Simply just because I would have rather have us went and got Cam Ward over Bill initially. I just feel like that would have gave us a higher ceiling on offense, especially with Chip Kelly. But for the most part, that's all. That's just being picky. But knowing that he wanted to come to OSU and we decided not to go that direction. But other than that, I mean, flawless offseason. I mean, I know a lot of people wanted us to hit the portal for O-line. I think that we got the guys that we need in the building. So
for now.
Yeah, I like it. Now, yeah.
Hey, I can smell it already. We're going to get to it later, bro. We'll get to that. We'll get to him.
Yeah.
So we just grading the offseason?
Yeah, just offseason.
Yeah.
All right. Just give me a solid 4, man. And I say the reason why it's a solid 4 out of 5 is one thing I felt like under Ryan Day that we should never have an issue is quarterback, and the fact that it's still a question mark, even with the guy that he brought in, and you're still in the battle, haven't won it. That's why I'm at with a 4. But I think I like everything else. Huh?
Is it a question mark? How many quarterbacks do you think that we could win with on this roster?
This year?
This year.
I don't know. They got to show me. It's a question mark on all of them. That's why I'm saying, like, I just feel like at Ohio State, we haven't had a question mark going into like the season. This is 2 years in a row, you know? So I just feel like it shouldn't be that way. And that's why I graded it that way. But
everything talking about the quarterback position?
Yeah, it's honestly crazy with the line of succession that we had. And people were like, oh, you think things like this never end when you have a run like Dwayne. I mean, you could even argue all the way back to TP. I mean, Ohio State really hasn't had a quarterback issue. We've had great quarterbacks, and then we get to Kyle, and I mean, we still only lost 1 game, but I don't know if that was championship caliber last year. But me personally, I know there's still a lot of question marks in that room. I think between the 5 talents in there, they got to be able to find someone, right?
And then, yeah, I mean, they definitely should. But then, like, when I look at the young guys, I know that they have the talent, but they don't have the experience as Ryan Day. And I know it's going to take them a while, right? They wouldn't have the full playbook at their disposal and things like that. So it's going to take them a while. And, you know, the question marks there. And then also, we still got question marks on the O-line. So, you know, these things that should be fixed, like I said, I got to see it. So.
Yeah, I'm right, which I'll probably go like 4.3 or 7.7 scale. No, 4.3 out of 5. I think we did everything we really needed to do. I don't know if we hit like completely out of the park. I mean, I wish we, did a little more on the offensive line. There's probably a couple things here or there, but for the most part, I can't complain. I mean, you walk into it, the roster looks loaded. I mean, I would say I think we could win with like 3 quarterbacks on the roster and then be okay maybe outside of like the biggest game where you need them to perform or the playoffs, which we got time before that. But outside of that, I think this team has everything. I think this is really the first season where Ohio State really flexed their muscles out. Now we're known as the NIL NIL school, I guess, for bringing in just a few players while teams have been doing it for seasons. So funny how that works. But I feel like this is the first season where Ohio State was really like, oh, yeah, we do got money. We do got bread. All right, let's use that a little bit. So really happy with the offseason. It just gets me excited and pumped for the season going forward. And also, my new guys on the block, Ross Bjork, big money Ohio State rolling in, new facilities, new uniforms, new cars for everybody, all that. Ross Bjork is in the building. Anybody got thoughts on Bjork?
Oh,
I'll say one thing about the facilities. I know we've been super critical of Ohio State's facilities, and I called you after the visit, and I was like, I think we were a little tough on them because I was like, our facilities aren't bad, but it's not gratuitous. Like, there's not insane amenities. It's not like, oh, the handles on the toilets, they're gold. Like, we don't have shit like that, but for the most part, the Woody's beautiful. Like, it is a nice facility. Are there things that they could upgrade it? And with OSU's money, could they make it ridiculous? Could they add a waterfall or two? Sure. I mean, they could, but I mean, is it necessary? Not really. I don't think people come and visit the Woody and say, oh, this is out of date, or oh, this stinks. As far as winning championships and doing what you need to do on a daily basis, Woody has everything that you need. So, I mean, I know Bjork's going to come in here and spend that money. I put something in our Buckeye community the other day. They announced that NIL collectives, these deals are going to be more regulated now, and universities can pay fines for certain ones. And I posted the Dumb and Dumber meme of them wiping their tears with cash. Because I was like, that's going to be Bjork paying fines if we have to, because I don't think any Ohio State or Ross Bjork are letting anything get in the way of this momentum that they have going around this program. And I don't think any legislation, any competitors are going to slow them down. So I think Ross Bjork's the perfect guy to come in and take over for Gene Smith, a legendary run despite of our criticisms of him. He did do great things at Ohio State, but I'm excited for the Ross Bjork era, and I think it is about to be money time in Columbus.
Yeah, I'm excited about Russ Bjork, man. He did a tour around the stadium and showed some very old pictures, and it's like, dang, also some spaces that's not being used. We can use them spaces, do something. So, I'm hoping that they find a way to also build on the stadium, help it generate more revenue, help also the game atmosphere. I think, someone had posted, I think I read it on Twitter, but I think it was one of the beat writers for Ohio State. And he was, just after his conversation with Russ Bjork, and it's like, man, I realized why they didn't go with all of these other candidates that everybody thought was probably next in line. Like, I think Pat Chung was one of the guys. And it's like, why? It's because of how aggressive Russ is. He wants to be the best. He wants us to look like the best. And we already heard him. He said he wants our stadium, our facilities to even rival NFL facilities and stuff. So, I mean, I understand our facilities look good and stuff, but when these players and these recruits and these families come in and they're just like, oh, this doesn't look like every other place, this looks even better than every other place. I think that can help us as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. Basically the situation that what happened at A&M, if that happens here, hey man, sign me up for Ross, bro. But, I just visited the stadium actually, doing a tour. Let's see, a week ago tomorrow. And it's very historic. It's a very historic place. It's very nice. It's very like nostalgic and things like that. But like I can see how someone like Ross, who's coming from the SEC, who's coming from A&M, who put in all that money in the stadium, can be like, there's some little things that we can tweak. Like, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see how he pumps money into OSU because, as Ron James has documented, they don't really like going all in and dumping all the money into the football team. But now that we have an AD that's like, fuck that. We about to turn up on football. I'm excited. So, yeah, dump the bread into the stadium, Ohio Stadium, turn Ohio Stadium up, turn the Woody up, and then let's go from there. Let's get it.
One point that we did miss. I think the reason also why Russ is able to. What up, dog? I know it's either dog or C-Ball in the chat. What's up, fellas? But one thing, the reason why Russ is able to do this and the reason why he was hired is because we got a president who said that football is king. And we got a president who's not just
no politics, Mike, no politics.
All academics and stuff. No. I ain't talking about no president of the United States. Don't just get me started, man. Don't get me started. But because of the president of the Ohio State University, that's the reason why we're able to be aggressive and he's going to be able to spend his money aggressively because we finally have a president and an athletic director that are aligned on football is king.
You're forgetting one other person that's also aligned with those two people, the collectives. And we finally have them, the president, the administration, the NIL collectives, everybody all on the same page. And I feel like it's about to be Death Star mode for Ohio State as far as moving administratively.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really asking for too much for the facilities. I just want you to walk in and it look like you're in Avengers Tower. Like that's really all that matters. Teleportation device, you know what I'm saying? Iron Man suits laying around. I'm just saying, just blow some money on that. So along with the off season, fellas, and everybody, make sure you like that video. We got some new people in here. Shout out to y'all. Again, if you got questions, just pick them in. We'll save them for later. But yeah, along with the new offseason came new opponents, they say. A little West Coast vibes in here. So we got Washington, Oregon, USC, and I didn't know this. They're in the same place as UCLA.
Where's UCLA at?
I believe they're both in Los Angeles.
Wow, that's
what the coach told me.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I didn't know that until I watched Big Ten Media Day, and then UCLA's head coach came out and he was like, we're UCLA, we're in LA, USC's there too.
That wasn't him. That was the edibles talking, man. He was going off the edibles, bro. He was feeling good.
Bro, they did not tell him that he had to get up there and talk. And I was watching another podcast with some people that were credentialed there, and they said you could see the head coach of UCLA, I'm forgetting his name right now, is looking over at the moderator every time he pauses during that speech, waiting for them to open the floor to questions. And the moderator's just looking at him like, nope, keep going. And he just keeps reaching for words, man. An embarrassing moment. So, yeah, welcome to the Big Ten moment, I guess, for the UCLA head coach.
Too funny. So we got new schools on the block. Fellas, I got a question for you. It's been a lot of off-season rapping. We had a new fan base come outside in the Big Ten. It wasn't Washington. It wasn't really USC. It wasn't really UCLA. But somebody thinks he's the big dog of the Big Ten now. So, Cam, I've seen you in a few spaces every now and then. Talk to me about Oregon
first, bro. Listen,
what do I need to know?
I don't got nothing to say about Oregon, bro. Like, I don't have nothing to say about Oregon, bro. They're not the first team to buy recruits. They're not the first team to have fancy facilities. They're not the first team to have a young coach that's popping and that's good and everyone likes and that's good with the media. They're not the first team to have nice uniforms. They're not the first team to do a lot of things, bro.
Not the first team to have a plate go viral at their cookout.
Yeah, not the first team to have a plate go viral either.
Not for good reasons.
If you were in any of the group chats with me, I am a Big Ten snob, bro. I have my nose in the air. I'm a snob about my conference. until they come in and do something and win and beat Ohio State, beat the team up north, and win a Big Ten championship, go to the playoffs, until they do something like that, Oregon's just another team on the schedule, bro. I don't care about who they're getting in recruiting. I don't care about any of that, bro. Because right now, I just feel like the more that OSU and the teams feed into them and feed into the hype and feed into this. First of all, let me backtrack. Nike and Phil Knight are geniuses. They have put college football in the most massive psyop to hype their team up and their program coming into the Big Ten, and it's been flawless, bro. Completely flawless execution from On3 to 247 to Steve Wiltfongs to their insiders and to how they leverage everything they say to make it look like it's over a Michigan or it's over Ohio State or it's over, like we're outside, like we're one of the guys with an empty ass trophy case. Genius, bro. Can't say it enough. But yeah, bro, like Oregon is just, they're Oregon, man. I'm not giving them no flowers and I'm giving no peas until they do something. I don't think they earned it, but everyone else can. But I don't understand the hype. They got a great team, but we've had a lot of great teams. A lot of other people have had a lot of great teams. They've had great teams in the past. They still have never won a trophy. So until they do that, sayonara.
Okay, Oregon doesn't have any natties?
Not one. They, you know what?
That's what I was about to say, Cam.
Oregon
you let the bar very low for them, and I'm like, until they win a natty or something, like,
bro. You know, back in like
1935,
back in 1935, bro, all you had to do was give out a couple of Italian hoagies and $5 to the AP, and be like, "Hey, we went 8-0 against who the fuck is this state out in the West? Okay, here you go. Here's a natty." They don't even got one of those, bro.
Don't tell me they buy natties with extra rations, bro.
Some Spam tuna casserole and a
trading jars of
apple pie
for conference championships,
bro. Like how you don't got a natty in the 20s, bro? Come on, bro. Everybody got one of them.
Yeah, new faces to the Big Ten, man. Like you said, Oregon's been talking a lot of their stuff, man. But, you know, my family annually, we eat duck every year during Thanksgiving. So, you know, I'm planning on eating some in October this year. So
they're a good team, though.
Yeah,
I'm not taking that away from them. I'm just saying, like, the hype and them coming into a new conference, like, let me see it first.
Yeah, and I definitely like it's a good thing that they put that big duck in Indiana. I mean, in whatever, Indianapolis, because if they had did that in Cleveland, yeah, that duck would have deflated and sunk, right?
Ron, where would you put Oregon as far as power rankings go for this season? Where do you think they'll finish at or be at?
In the conference?
Yeah, in the conference.
I want to be funny and disrespectful, but I have to put them at 3. You know, it's Ohio State, Rutgers, and then Oregon. I think the Scarlet Knights are the most underrated team in the Big Ten. If anyone has seen their schedule, they don't play any of the powers in the conference. They don't have to see Oregon. They don't see Penn State. They don't see the team up north. They don't play us. So when I'm talking about conference powers, you have to take everything into account, and including the schedules, returning starters. Rutgers returns 18 starters from last year's team. They get an upgraded quarterback from with the transfer from Minnesota. So, yeah, I mean, I would put Oregon right there at 3, right behind the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Rutgers have the road to the playoffs, so get that bet in now. Futures bet. Rutgers
$10 to win 5,000. You parlay Rutgers to make the playoffs. Go out there and get that free money, gang.
Yeah. Go ahead. Put your house on it. Change your life. So that's basically news for the Big Ten. Peering back to Ohio State. It's the offseason, so we know that comes with recruiting. Ohio State holds currently the #1 class. A couple big targets still out there. I'll start with this first. With players who are already in the class, and I'll switch up. I'll go Mike. Who is your biggest target that's still out there for Ohio State?
Oh, biggest target? Well, I'm not going to say the obvious because Buckeye fans is going crazy over this. And I mean, you know me, man. I don't trust these kids, bro. But I mean, I guess the biggest target out there. I mean, we need some. We need some edges, some D line guys. The Stewart guy, you know, I've been hearing a lot about him. I know he just like tweeted about Ohio State as well. So, no, we need to get him. I guess. I mean, you know me. I don't really trust these kids, bruh. So I done seen them. Hey, we gonna commit to Ohio State. Oh, put Ohio State on the graphic, but I ain't take no official visit there. Like, come on, man. I'm down. I'm waiting till they sign.
Ron, who's your biggest target still out there? Or who's it? No, sorry. You didn't like answer first question. Who are you most excited to see in the class that we already have committed? And then who is your biggest target still?
You ain't asking that.
I'm taking both the easy answers. I don't care. Devin Sanchez is a Himothy. Like, I mean, that kid is absolutely different. He's gonna come in and challenge day one when he gets into a loaded cornerback room. Tim Walton with another amazing job pairing him with Naeem Offord. We've seen a few decommits, but I have no doubts that Walton will round out that class with probably another commit or maybe even two, but a bang-up job by him. And then, I mean, the elephant in the room, David Sanders. Is Justin Fry going to blow this? I mean, at one point, it felt like a foregone conclusion. You were seeing, you know, Tavien St. Clair and David Sanders go back and forth on the timeline, and now flirt with Dylan Raiola, and it's like, wow, man, could Nebraska do a double stuff in a locker and end up with Dylan Raiola and David Sanders? That would be an awful look for the Buckeyes. But I mean, I feel like there's definitely more to get to with the Justin Fry conversation, so I'll just couch it there. Cam, I mean, who's the recruit that you're most excited about in this class, and what targets remaining do you think are a must get?
The recruit I'm most excited about for this class.
I feel like I know your answer, and you're sitting there pondering. Be a kid from Ohio, the receiver.
No.
Not your favorite?
The chosen one.
What did he say?
The prince that was promised. Tavien St. Clair. Let me tell you about this guy. Let me tell you about him, okay? I think that Tavien St. Clair is going to transcend Ohio State football to like what we've been expecting. He's going to reset the clock at Ohio State at quarterback, bro. Like, I think that there would be conversations about him playing as a freshman at Ohio State, 100%. I didn't say he would. I said there are going to be conversations about it because we haven't had a recruit that spends as much time as he does in high school in the Woody with Ryan Day, learning and observing and doing the things that he's doing literally year and a half, 2 years out from when he even steps foot on campus. That kid's going to be ready to play. He's going to be 6'4", 6'5", 230, solid, with inside knowledge already what's going on in the program.
I think Cam is just predicting that our beat writers are going to push this propaganda.
No, it's not propaganda. I think that Tavien St. Clair is very different.
So, question for you in regards to
Hold on, wait. Steven Sand stop it, truther, and people would have said that about Jeremiah Smith too. Oh, freshman is gonna come.
Wait. What?
He would never come
to Ohio State.
Cam, it's two different positions.
Okay, I get a couple things here.
Come on, bro.
I get where Cam.
Okay, it's two different positions. That's fine, but we're deeper at wide receiver than we are quarterback.
Sure.
Are we?
Are we?
Yeah.
Our quarterback room's loaded.
Oh, you talking about Dane Ballard and Coach O?
Wait. So,
Hey, bro, they got high rating.
Hold on. So you don't think that's any case that Tavien St. Clair could not start over Julian Saint?
No.
Okay.
I think there's a case where he could. I'll back it with
I'm
Cam.
not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that there's going to be conversation about it.
Of course, there's going to be conversation. That's what I'm saying. Our beat writers, have you not seen it? Of course, there's going to be conversation.
I'm not talking about beat
They
writers.
talked about Kyle starting over CJ, bruh.
No,
Kyle McCord starting over CJ, bruh.
I'm not talking about the beat. I'm talking about people that
Real conversation.
Yes, real conversation that are going to look at Tavien St. Clair as a player and say He could be starting right now at Ohio State, and I'm standing on that. That's how talented and how different I think he is compared to the rest of the quarterbacks that are even in the room right now at Ohio State. And I'm 10 toes about that. And we're going to see what happens next year.
My thing is, I think that the pace of play and just getting adjusted to the speed of the college game with Tavien playing at a slightly lower division in Ohio, I think that'll be just enough of a learning curve to keep him off of Julian Saints back in that quarterback battle next year. Or Aaron Nolan. Again, I don't want to count any with Devin Brown, Lincoln Keyholtz. It could be any of those guys. So to think that a freshman that hasn't played college ball, has played lower level high school football, I just think, and especially with Ryan Day not being a big fan of playing true freshmen right out to start, with how difficult it is to learn that offense, I feel like they'll take it slow with the amount of talent in that room. But you did bring up Jeremiah Smith and how crazy of a take that would have been a year ago. Someone on this podcast had that take a year ago, and people were looking at him crazy. Not that he could just start. I was seeing chatter on the timeline about someone else mentioning that Jeremiah Smith could be the best player or be the best wide receiver in college football by the end of the season.
Yeah, I had that take, guys. Yeah,
I said that the day that he signed, that he became instantly the best receiver in college football. So I mean, could it happen? Possibly. So I mean, if I'm wrong, let everyone know I was wrong first.
I just think that kid. I just think he's different, bro.
Absolutely.
Just the things that I hear about him too, like even just like as a leader. And like his demeanor and how he carries himself, I just think that if there was a kid that would start at Ohio State as a freshman, I think that it could be him. Just from what I'm hearing from people that are in the Woody, people that have been around him, that he's just a different type of dude, bro. He's different.
Cam, is there a guy out there that's still that we need to get in this recruiting class for you? Is there another guy out there that you're like, we got to have this dude?
I mean, obviously we need David Sanders. I mean, that's the big elephant in the room. I mean, I guess nobody wanted to eat hot dogs and hamburgers this weekend in Columbus, so he just flew out to Nebraska to have 100 million fans welcome him out of the airport. So that's great. I don't know what Pantone and Ryan Day was doing this weekend, but we weren't doing shit. We could have had a cookout. They could have called Q, Ron, Cleveland Mike, Tyler in the chat. We would have all linked up, cooked up some burgers so we can get some fucking recruits on campus. But I don't fucking know.
I stay on the grill. Shit.
If they didn't want to have a cookout, we would have did it, bro. But fuck it though. Let all our recruits go to the SEC, Nebraska, and everything, and let's hope for the best. So, yeah,
I'm right with you. So far, I'm happy in this class. If I had to pick a favorite guy in there, I mean, a little bit wants me to pick Bachman Miller just because watching his tape, this dude's extremely talented.
Great guy.
He's the prototype, athletic, 6'4". That's crazy, but I almost have to go with a linebacker at this point just because they're a rare breed, and I haven't seen an athletic one in years now. So I'll probably go with Pettijohn as my favorite dude in the class. As far as guys to enter the class, I mean, y'all know me. Y'all know how I like my D tackles. 6'4", 350, run like the wind. Malik Aldridge, yo, come on down, bro. I know you don't want to go to Harvard, bro. It sounds good.
He ain't coming here, bro.
The spatula to the show.
He is not coming here, bro.
It's cool in the offseason, but we try to get rings around here. So come on, dude. That would be my target. Ron alluded to it earlier. Justin Fry. I don't even know where y'all want to go with this, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. Justin Fry, what we talking about?
I see Justin Fry in the chat right now. Mitt's plug at $300 for a ticket. I guess he thinks tickets are expensive for Ohio State. Bro, Justin Fry, Cam talked about having a clock for Jim Knowles last year, bro. We're going to have to bust that thing out for Justin Fry because, I mean, if Perry Eliano's getting fired for recruiting misses, this man, Justin Fry, got the longest leash in the world. Like, he has to get it done this cycle. And like we said, like, last year's class was not bad. But he was aided by a huge talent in his home state and a bunch of talent in the state of Ohio. And I feel like any Ohio State coach, it's in the job description. Like, you're going to get the best in Ohio. You need to keep the best here. We're not applauding people for that or giving them credit for that. And we've seen him go out here and strike out on these national tackles time after time after time. And at what point can you, I mean, you're sitting in these staff meetings, Brian Hartline and Tim Wallen got to be side-eye looking at Justin Fry like, you going to recruit at all? You going to try? Like, when are you going to bring the level of attention needed to this recruiting that these other guys on staff do? And we've talked to people around the NIL, around the program about it. Do these other position groups have bigger bags than offensive line? Is this a money issue? No, he's just missing. And I don't know how many more times we can see kids say, I don't want to play for that guy, before we have to look elsewhere. And I mean, could Justin Fry come out here and have a great offensive line that comes out here and carries us to a national championship? Very well may. And I don't think many people on this panel right now question his ability to develop, but we also have two people that may make you question his ability to develop when you have a guy like Tegra Shabola, who's not able to get on the field, top 50 recruit in his junior year. Luke Montgomery, a guy that we thought might challenge for the right guard position. That seems all but locked up by Carson Hinsman. You hear everyone else talk about the right guard position. It seems like they have the line set, and you're not going to see those two young, highly touted recruits get on the field. So I guess it's a waiting game. We'll see how this this recruiting class plays out. We'll see what the development looks like. But I feel like even if this line develops, you're still going to have questions in regards to the guys sitting behind them, because Tegra and Luke are guys that, with their pedigree coming in, the hype that we had, not us around them, but them as recruits, and what we heard coming out of the facility when they were freshmen, sophomores, expecting these guys to be challenging for a position, and that just doesn't seem to be in the cards right now.
Anybody else?
Well, I'll take the different approach. I guess the most unpopular opinion, man. And my whole thing is, when Justin Fry got here, nobody could really tell me who he had put in the league, right? So now you get a coach that doesn't really have you're recruiting on a national level, but he doesn't have a national resume. This kind of reminds me of us bringing in what's his name, Perry Eliano. In his first year, his group was terrible, right? But then coming around in his second year, his group was actually one of the best groups on the team, right? I think as long as we can see Justin Fry develop and then see that this offensive line elevates and actually shows the development, and he puts those guys in the league, like you put a Josh Fryer in the league, bruh, put that on your resume. That's a great thing, right? You get someone, then you can sit here and say, look, you are way more athletic than him. Look what I did with him. You know, like that's stuff that you can add to your resume. We talk about Carson Hinsman. We all knew Carson Hinsman had to play a year earlier because Luke Weipler left. The offensive line is a developmental position. I think most guys, unless you're a Paris Johnson or a Michael Jordan, yeah, you're ready to play year one, year two. But most guys aren't really ready, and their bodies aren't ready, because that's what happened with Carson Hinsman at the end of the year. His body started to wear down, and he wasn't ready. But year three should be good. Same thing that we was hearing about Luke Montgomery or whatever. He was looking good in the beginning of camp, but then he started to wear down and taper off at the end. He's just not ready because it's a developmental position. And I think that those guys will be ready for their third year. Yeah. That's just my take.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty consistent about Fry. I don't know. I don't have any inside information on this, so I don't want to say anything wrong about him. But from my outside guess, I don't know if it's an issue of him being aggressive enough. So basically what a little birdie told me is that Justin Fry in the beginning of the recruitment is very, very like good. Gets these kids, gets their attention, sells Ohio State, boom. They're locked in. I love it, right? It's when they leave campus and the weeks go by and the months go by is where he kind of struggles in recruiting with keeping up with kids, calling kids, connecting with the families, connecting with the uncles, aunts, and cousins that the other schools do at a higher level. So like he's good at selling the program, selling himself, and selling the system, and selling him as a coach. But it's the extra mile. I think that is where he's just getting absolutely cooked on the trail with follow up. And if anybody's ever been in sales, you know that like that's the most important thing ever, right? It's easy for me to, if you're here in Columbus and we have you on an OV and like I can say how great we are, it's like, yeah, we're Ohio State. Obviously, you're going to leave that visit and be like, yeah, I want to be a Buckeye. But 2 weeks from now, on a Tuesday, like, how does that kid feel, you know, especially when your name's not coming across the phone? So I don't know. But I'm in a rock and a hard place with Fry because I've been on record plenty of times saying I think that he is a good coach. I think that with the guys that we have in the building, I think that he's done a great job. I think that we saw that happen in real time last year where we couldn't even block a soul in the run game in the first half of the season. And then we started seeing Hensman IDing. We started seeing Fryer getting better on the edge. We saw Josh Simmons get way better with his feet, getting better punch. Like we just saw every single aspect of our offensive line get coached up and get better week by week by week. And I'm in the place where it's like, what do we value more, right? Do we value an ace recruiter or do we value a person that's going to have our team ready with the players that's in the building? And then that is the duality issue with Fry. What do we care about more? Do we care about that he can coach our team and have them ready on Saturdays, or do we care about the fact that he struggles getting top-end talent in the door?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably piggyback on what both you said. I mean, with Ron, I think at some point, being at Ohio State and just the brand we are, to lose so many battles is kind of like what are we doing here? Like you win some, lose some is cool. Win none, lose all, not as cool. But I do think the development on the field is the most important. I talked with Chris. I think we did the corner episode, and I just talked about Justin Fry's recruiting and his scope and the fact of where guys he would go after. And you see and I'm just talking like Midwest. The Midwest breeds linemen. I mean, we've known that for a long time. There's so many good linemen up here, but you would see if you go down the recruiting services, you would see offer lists, and Alabama and Georgia would be up here offering guys. Like Georgia has done numbers in New Jersey. New Jersey is really not near. It's not closer to Georgia than it is Ohio State. They've done numbers in New Jersey, and they've come here and grabbed a lot of linemen, big athletic dudes. That's like, why are we not over there, throwing these guys offers? Like the rankings don't really matter to me as much as get big athletic guys here and develop them, because we know that's what you do. We've seen that. So I think he's got to change his maybe focus a little bit. So because there's no reason you should be back to a corner of I gotta get the number one tackle in the nation, or I'm at risk for my job. Like that means you did not do your job if that's what you're banging on. So for me, it's a big season for Fry. Like I said, I think if he continues and this offensive line is really good this season, his job is probably fine. But eventually, you're going to have to take care of things on the trail. I don't care if it's the number 1 guy or the number 10 guy. You got to get people through the door. So that's kind of where I'm at with Fry. But I'm going to let y'all know, everybody, go ahead and like that video. Hit the comments. If you are on Twitter, go ahead and use that retweet button. Let some people see us that maybe haven't seen us yet, and go ahead and join the squad. So hit that like, hit the retweet, all of that good stuff. And let's hop into some camp notes. So got a couple of questions here. I will just throw this out there. As far as camp battles go, is there any of y'all looking forward to? And that's for the chat as well.
I don't even know if it's a battle per se. I'm just interested to see how this linebacker rotation shakes out. I don't know that we're going to just see two linebackers out there consistently like we saw with Steele and Tommy for the past 2 years. I think with the development of CJ Higgs and Cody Simon, both of those guys are going to push to be on the field. Cody Simon, the veteran guy, I think the guy that Jim Knowles is going to trust the most out there. But with Sonny Styles moving the linebacker, I don't see a scenario where they change his position to keep him off the field. They're going to find ways to play all three of these guys. So just seeing how that shakes out, what the distribution of minutes is, and like I can't wait to see some film room breakdowns and all 22 film from these games to see the alignments and where they move these guys and to see how they use Sonny Styles this year. So, I mean, is it a battle? I don't know. I would hope not. I hope it's not a battle, because a battle would seem to indicate that they're going to find two guys out of these three, and those are going to be the two that play for the most part. And I'm hoping it's going to be more of a rotation, and regardless of how it shakes out and who are the first two out on the field, I hope to see all three guys out there.
Yeah. The only battle, obviously, is the QB battle that I'm worried about. But to piggyback like off of what Ron was talking about, I just want to know the rotation. We've seen rotation issues. Jackson Smith and Njigba goes down or whatever, and now we don't have like wide receivers, or Marv goes down. We don't have a wide receiver to step up. We see Lathan Ransom go down, and if Malik Hartford had reps. So I think more on battles is not battles. It's more about the rotation and getting these guys reps, because if a guy goes down early, will the guys later in the season in our biggest game have enough reps for us to be able to trust them to go out there and make the plays that they need to play? Like if Malik Hartford doesn't even turn his back, he just stays right there. He got a pick, possibly a pick six, but the guys don't be having the reps. And that's something that I need to see change from this, from our coaching staff.
Cam, anything you're looking forward to at camp as far as battles go?
No, not really. I just want to be injury free. We're an Adwater team this year. Like, just come out injury free and go win a Natty.
Sounds good.
I like, this is like the least excited I've been about a camp. Like, I just don't want to see anyone get hurt, and then let's get through it and then get to the
facts. Shout out my guy TC Caffey, man. I hope you get better soon, man. Speedy recovery.
So
Mike is contractually obligated. He's contractually obligated to fit TC Caffrey somewhere in every show. Ron, we got any questions from the chat? Before we wrap up here.
No questions from the chat that we got saved for today. If you have questions, make sure you find us on any podcast platform where you get your podcast at, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of those places. Make sure you leave a 5-star review with a question, and we will be sure to answer it here on Buckeye BS, or same goes for the Buckeye Roast. If you want to leave a 5-star review on there as well and drop a question for me and Q, make sure you check us out there. Q, let the people know where they can find you before we get out of here. It has been awesome to be back. We haven't been on the microphone in months. I don't ever get nervous before doing this. Me and Mike are talking in the pre-chat. It's like, man, I haven't done this in a little while. I got a little pre-game nerves, but man, it felt good to be back in front of the mic, especially with these guys. It's always a good time to talk Buckeyes with the fellas. Q, let the people know where they can find you before we get out of here.
Yeah, well, I don't know about this we stuff, because I stay on the mic over there. You know what I'm saying? I get my reps in. I've been outside all summer. But yeah, if you want to find me, Cityway Quitting on the timeline. I do movie reviews, minor league films. It's on YouTube if you want to check that out. Overall, man, I'm not hard to find, and I will be back for a Buckeye Roast at 5 in.the morning. Monday through Friday.
It's 8 a.m. Eastern. It's 5 a.m. for Q, Mr. Arizona time.
Contractually obligated. So if you want to find me, all those places, hit the DMs. You know what's good.
Mike?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at 216_wildboy, man. Don't be no creeper and be finding me on all the other apps and posting my pictures, man. Appreciate y'all. Weirdos.
You can find me on Twitter at IKnowThings19, and I'm also outside on the video game as well. So hop in the Best Damn Media Discord. You can find me in there as Truther, and we'll be in there getting after it too. So appreciate all y'all coming through, everybody on Twitter. If you like what you watch, you like what you're seeing, hop over to YouTube as well and give us a like. That'll be much appreciated. That's all I got.
Yeah, appreciate everyone pulling up on Twitter, everyone that pulled up on YouTube. Great to be back in front of the microphone today. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2_TES. That's 2 T's. You can find me on Twitch at the same thing. You can find me in the Best Damn Media Discord. We're in there hanging out a couple nights a week. We'll be in the voice channels and the group chats, all of that. We have Ohio State group chats. We have gaming group chats. So definitely a place that you want to check out. And then tomorrow we are back again. Me and Q, the Buckeye Roast, every weekday at 8 a.m. Super excited to get that rolling again. And then once the season starts, we have the Fans Edge, and then we have the college football pregame show that will be on the Menace to Sports platform with Chris Drew every Saturday morning before Buckeye games. So make sure that you like, comment, subscribe to the videos. We appreciate you tuning in to this episode of Buckeye BS, and we will see you next week.